And then reaching up. So I was on the phone with Bob Crumley today. Bob Crumley is one of the biggest lawyers. How about has one of the biggest firms, biggest person in new firms in North and South Carolina. Had a great time talking to Bob, and just, you know, kind of savoring every morsel of wisdom, you know, that I could squeeze out of him, you know, in the 30, 45-minute conversation we had today. Okay.
Yeah.
And I need to really make a point to get back with Bob and see if I can interview ridiculously successful people.
Yeah, for the other book, right. Ridiculously successful people, I like that.
Yeah, so I need to contact him about that. So, I mean, it was just, I was pumped just talking to him. I mean, I've got a list of wisdom, just things that I needed to run my law firm like a business, to grow it.
Right.
And that was reaching up, you know what I mean? I was reaching up outside my, you know, most people were talking about boundaries and pay grades, and like people don't want to go, you know, don't want to talk to someone they think is, you know, better than they are, more successful or something, whatever it is, you know.
Right.
I mean, you just got to remove all those boundaries.
Yeah.
I think I called Bob today. Was in Florida, somewhere doing something, okay, hanging out down there, and we talked for a good 30, 45 minutes. It probably took me a month, though, to track him down and pin him down with a time where he can be, you know what I'm saying? But I'm cool.
And a lot of people are going to be intimidated about that. Going to someone with more experience, maybe not necessarily because they're smarter or whatever, or have more money, but just
They're out of
are they going to, the idea of, are they going to really want to bother wasting their time on me, that kind of low self-esteem kind of thing.
Who cares? That's all about you.
Well,
not
yeah,
about them.
yeah, it is. Yeah.
No, that's right. So, and it's all about efficiency too. I mean, look, I can talk to everybody else at my level, with my experience level, with my success level, and maybe get there eventually, okay?
Yeah.
Or if I can, I mean, I don't know, it's efficiency. It's, I mean, dude, if you want to climb Mount Everest, you know, you're probably not going to call me to be your guide. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You're going to go to Nepal and get a Sherpa who's done it before.
Yeah.
Because he's done it before. You know, he knows the way. He knows the tricks. How to get you there and back without getting killed. You know? So I mean, in a very short period of time, literally a 30, 45-minute conversation, I got more information than talking to, you know, a bunch of friends of mine for a year. You know what I mean? Because, I mean, I don't want to argue with Bob's points. I mean, I'll have my own point of view and put my own spin on it, but
You don't have to argue with it. I mean,
No.
talking with someone who's at a much higher level, on whatever direction, is going to explode your productivity. As you said, if you talk to someone who's doing the same thing you are, the same way, you're not gonna be making those leaps. Or certainly not as quickly.
I got it. I understand. I mean, so, I mean, more and more, when I get older, I feel like I want to move with speed and power. Like, just move with speed. Make good decisions, trust them, and move on. Another way to speed that up is to follow somebody who's already done it, because they know the way, and they know the pitfalls.
Did he have certain recommendations?
Yes. Yeah, you want to know them?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, and I need to contact Bob about doing a ridiculously successful people interview.
And would these recommendations be for any lawyer? That any lawyer could put these into practice, or would it be specifically for your practice? And then different recommendations?
No, these would be for anybody's practice. Okay? Number one, trademark your slogans. Get really serious about your branding and your brand. And that's something that I am serious about and I put out a lot of information about my brand. Right. And you know what? I sit there proudly and crowed about, how amped up I am on social media, everything else, for a very low budget, that I can have omnipresence and all this other stuff. And all this stuff I do. Hey, check me out while you're great. And I was, talking about that site, everything's going on. And he's like, this is my slogan and this is everything. Oh, have you trademarked that? No. No, I have not. So if you're really serious about your brand, okay, you don't want somebody to hijack your brand, protect it, trademark it. You know what I mean? Because I haven't stopped long enough to actually do that, right? But it leaves me vulnerable, right? So watch your back a little bit. Think about it as you go along. And I'm sure he learned that the hard way. I mean, Bob trademarked the term "Better Call Bob," which is a huge personal injury thing. Yeah. Which was, Better Call Bob was through the 80s and 90s, it was to help build his firm. The whole trademark.
That's where they got the idea for that Soul show. Better Call Saul, I guess. Oh, it's possible.
Perhaps, yeah. Better Call Bob was Bob trademarked that. Okay.
Right.
So, yeah, and so that was one. I was like, okay, yeah, you're right, and taking the time to think about things. Like, I've started working with their firm some, okay, and referring cases back and forth,
right,
which is huge, okay. By contacting their firm and trying to get in touch with Bob and starting to look for referrals, dude, even when I started making referral relationships, this is another point. Making referral relationships with small players in your town that might be your friends, that's great, okay? That is good if you guys can grow together. There's nothing wrong with that, and that's fine, okay? But when you're talking about reaching up, I made a referral relationship with the largest firm in North and South Carolina that I could find, okay?
Right.
For specific types of cases. And in turn, they started referring me cases for what I did. Because they know that I get us a business, I organize my firm a lot similar to them, okay? I somewhat idolize and follow a pattern of what their creator did, and his DNA in his firm, and but I'm talking to him today about that. Yeah, I'm doing business with. Oh, really? Because we used to have all kind of these military VA benefits cases and this and that. We had nobody to send them to, and I'm like, well, yeah, I don't really think I've really discussed all that with your firm yet, because I didn't take time to think about, okay, what all have I told them I do, and I've had lunch with their attorneys, everything else, in Charlotte. And, right. Just setting everything up, and we work with them all the time, and so and he's like, you ought to go, talk to Dre over there. This guy I work with a lot over there, and see if you can come by and do like a luncheon presentation or something for all our attorneys, like in Greensboro, on the VA aid attendants and the military benefit thing. Because we could refer a ton of people to you. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. Yeah, I should do that. So, and not just about that, and other services, Mm-hmm. You talk about making a ridiculous amount of connections and hitching your wagon to a star. But, I mean, that's just an example of reaching up,
Right.
And, I mean, I don't know, at this point in my life, I have no shame. I mean, I need the help. I want the help.
Well, it not only gives you that.
And nobody's going to help you.
Referrals.
I mean, you got to ask, but you just got to ask. You can't be scared to ask, you know?
Yeah.
And yes, we're getting a lot of referrals.
But it's also opening you up to mentoring with him.
And mentoring, that's correct.
Yeah.
And mentoring with the head guy, with the founder. Yes, that's
From
correct.
what you said on just a 45-minute phone call, that's made some inroads into bigger business.
Dude, he made, I think that I'm this techie guy, okay? And I'm doing all this social media, kind of video and everything else. And I do, I do all kind of computer stuff. I mean, but people just have different perspectives. And here's Bob, okay? He says, look, man, in the 80s when he's doing this, right, and growing his firm, and taking, like, personal injury and that type of firm into a hospital model that's not centered around, you don't have doctor-heavy hospital. You get your nurses are really your case managers at the hospital, and the doctors are going around making the rounds and checking on everything, make sure everything's going okay. And most law firms are the opposite of that,
So he's using other industries to promote his own.
That's not just a Bob thing, but you see people who are successful in any industry, they will look around them and pull from any industry.
Right.
It doesn't matter. It could be something totally foreign to the industry, but they understand that business is business, okay? And it is a business, and law is no different, okay? So yes, pulling from different industries, he used a hospital model with case managers, much like head nurses, I guess, to run cases and to give great customer service. The case managers contact the clients every 2 weeks, at least once every 2 weeks. The attorneys contact the clients at least once every month. So I have to write that down. So, even though you might be a great attorney, if you don't have that customer service in place, then the client could have, even though they get great services, could have a total misconception of the experience, right? Totally misconstrue the experience where they got great legal work done for them, but had a bad experience because you didn't reach out and touch enough. You know what I mean? And that's something that's been absolutely great with Crumley's success. Okay, and I thought I was this techie guy, and I am. I'm comfortable with technology. And what am I doing? I'm talking to him. I'm making notes on a legal pad, right? Okay. And he said, I used to be notorious around the firm for going around and snatching legal pads off people's desks with notes on them and taking them, and you don't get it back. Like, I'm not holding it for ransom. That's what he said. You don't get it back, like, ever. It's gone. Okay?
Right.
Because our rule was all notes that you take, whether on the phone with the client, in person, whatever, go in the system. Go in the computer system for that case. Everything's there. All the case notes. Everything's jam-packed in there. Okay? Everything's tracked.
Right.
Okay? So throw out all the paper. Bam, you're done. He threw it away, and I'm like, so I write down go electronic, period. And I've been talking about it, thinking about it for years, and I still take notes when I'm with the client on a legal pad, pass it off, when I ought to be putting it in the system, period. Everybody ought to be looking at the same place to make it efficient. Imagine how much time that saves over time. Imagine just the records that are just all in one place and easy to access, time tracking,
also,
everything.
that would be a hell of a quick learning curve for the people working there. They would know very, very quickly that they have to get it written up as quickly as possible without leaving it out.
Yeah, I mean, I'm putting that policy. Look, these policies are going into place tomorrow in my firm. Tomorrow, the morning meeting, this is what I'm putting out, okay? So that gave me a kick in the rear to say, crap, Bob was doing this in the 80s, bro. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? And I'm still trying to get it together for everybody, right?
Right.
And it's just weakness on my part. Don't be weak. If you have a policy you need to implement, do it. If somebody won't implement that policy or get on board, fire them.
Right.
Lawyers are notorious. Business people, period, are notorious for carrying employees who are rowing the wrong way in their rowboat, okay?
Say that again?
That are rowing the wrong way in their rowboat. You want everybody in the boat rowing the same direction, right? And you got one guy who's leading them, you know? And you got one that's rowing against you or rowing somewhere different, you know? That causes problems, you know?
Yeah, that's a good analogy.
So, I mean, and I put up with that for years. And it's taken just now my tooling a firm and getting to the point where I'm shrewd enough to I think you have to get to a point where you're able to say, this is how I want it and this is how it's going to be, period.
Mm-hmm.
Period, okay? It's not about being a nice guy. This is how it needs to be, because this is how I want it. You want somebody else to get it your way, go start your own business, go to law school, or go work for somebody else, you know? So, in creating the firm manual, I mean, I got this, right? That's why I had this out. I'm talking to him, and I go to get ours, and I'm like, yeah, mine's like probably 3/4 of an inch thick right now, you know? And this is the manual I did last year, finished up about third quarter last year, you know? And need to go back over it and this and that, right? And he's like, yeah, ours for each of our 3 departments. I'll do if I also have 3 departments. He's big on 3s. If you read his book, okay, it's a lot of it's about 3s.
What's his book called?
It's like, it's Google. It's something about 1, 2, 3. Google Bob Crumley 1, 2, 3. I gave it to somebody else. I think I gave it to another lawyer after I read it. See the end first. 3 simple yet difficult rules of success. There it is. 3. But everything's in, like a lot of things in his life that he recognizes there are tons of them are in 3s, okay? And he has 3 departments in his law firm, right? And
it's funny how some people do that.
He goes on and on and on about the 3s, okay?
Yeah.
And it's just, it makes sense. I'll enough to have 3 here. It's an easy number to manage. It just makes sense.
Right.
We have probate, starting down the hall, probate, pre-planning, and benefits planning.
Right.
Okay.
It's just funny how some people will connect to a certain number, and it's almost like it becomes a magic number for them.
Yes, it's become a magic number for Bob. And I'm pretty sure he has 3 separate businesses. I know he has a marketing and studio and recording studio, kind of the same thing in Nashville. He has a commercial real estate company and the law firm. So he had tons of 3s in his life, and but the see the end first is pretty good. You know, it's just about keeping that vision in mind, backing it out, and how you're going to get there. And base hits, he always talks about base hits instead of home runs. You know what I'm saying? Instead of going for that big case, man, just make a system and knock out the base hits every day, and that gets you there.
Well, that was one of the questions I was going to ask you about.
And I read this book
systems
several years ago. Okay,
it's still just as good now as it would be then.
I talked to the author today on the phone.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's odd how things work, and now I'm referring back and forth with his law firm routinely. It's just funny how life works. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe I saw the end when I read the book. You know, like, yeah, I get to know this guy a little bit. It's pretty cool. So, what were you saying? You thought
about systems.
Mm-hmm.
With regards to what was the question?
This is something that separates the average lawyer out there from someone who's able to really grow. This right here. And it's taking the time really to create all the systems for each department. I was telling him, I was bragging, that's about 3/4 of an inch. You know, I made that for my firm, you know. and I need to go back over. I need to update it. Everything else. He's like, yeah, ours, even down to how you place a stamp on a document was what his did. Okay, but he had ones that were about 4 inches thick for each of the 3 departments. Okay, and he had a management team I think that he met with that would work on creating it routinely. But they really got down to a science what they did, and they knew it in and out. So everybody, when they came on, was able to. They knew how to do everything. They had somebody training on how to do everything their way. Their way. That's right. That's right. And
is this a system that we could put step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the book? Crediting where credit's due, but not copying, exactly.
What do you mean? What system? You mean like a firm of this thing?
Or for like new lawyers just starting out.
There are 3 functions to a business. There are 3 sections in this manual.
Okay.
There's sales and marketing, which will be 3 separate books. This will be the Rockstar Lawyer conferences we give.
Okay.
By the way, I really want to talk to you about that. Let's make that something we talk about too. Okay.
All right.
Tonight, before we get up, we're done, because I need to start thinking about how to do those. Okay. I need to get on the phone with Nish tonight. I'm ready to get that site up. Okay. Period. We're not too far from having it done. Okay. Nish will put drag his feet and do it. If you're listening out there, Nish, finish it up. So he needs to put all my videos up there. Okay. I put up a lot of new content lately. I've still got Nancy in my last meeting to put up. I didn't record this one. But yeah, so 3 sections: sales and marketing, operations, okay, operations, which should be divided into 3 sections, okay?
Okay.
Operations, I already had it in there, but that's odd, because I'd already done that. Pre-planning, benefits planning, probate. I had miscellaneous, but we won't have miscellaneous. That's it, okay? Operations into 3 sections, and then finance, okay? How we handle all the money, everything we do, right? And we need to add in there banking, loans, relationships, don't outgrow your cash. I'll come back to that.
That's what you were saying earlier about making sure you've got a month in the bank to hold you over in hard times. I'm assuming that's what you mean.
That's right. Do a downturn. Yeah, so yeah, it puts, so meet weekly with your staff. Weekly with your staff, just for the sole purpose of processes and procedures and making sure these are being hammered and drilled out. Okay.
Right.
And you can delegate some of it, but you got to know it and dictate it. Okay, it's got to have your blueprint and DNA. Mine's about including the appendix with forms. I never thought I'd put together a bunch of books, but I put together, I guess this was one I did last year. And I wrote the Saving the Farm, which I've got to finish editing out, dude. 97 pages. But it needs to be probably 3 or 4 times that big. And here's the thing. I need to boil all this down into something that is generic enough to impart on another attorney.
Right.
Do it for him. Hand it to him. Hand him $1 million law practice.
Right.
In a box. Bring everybody in. I'm going to charge that to put it together. 10 grand a piece. $99.99.
So that would be basically
20 people.
the whole
I want to plan that
system of should work most effectively.
Can we finish? Let's finish the Rockstar Lawyer book. Okay?
Oh, sure.
Let's get it the hell out there. You know what I'm saying? At the same time that we need to start thinking about the seminars.
Okay.
When the Rockstar Lawyer book comes out, the Rockstar Planner is going to be sold on the website too.
Yeah.
The website will be up.
Yeah.
We'll start putting out seminars and webinars. Okay? I want you to help me do the webinars. Okay? Because you'll be intimately familiar with this stuff. All right? And we'll do a profit share or something like that on the webinars. All right?
In what way?
But I will charge for nationwide webinars, and we won't limit the people that get on the webinars. Those will be, but you know what? We'll set them for an hour and a half or something like that. I bet you I'll go 2, 3, 4 hours though, especially if we have call-ins. I have call-ins too.
Yeah.
So let's set up webinars, start them, and I'm not going to take up time out of my schedule much either. So we'll do them at like 5 o'clock, or when people get off, like right at 5.
Right.
Boom. So they're in their office. We can party and do a webinar on Wednesday or Thursday. Okay.
What do you mean? As in, I will assist you with them.
Get a pizza and a piss bucket and get in front of your computer.
I'll be basically assisting you while you give the webinar.
I don't know. I just think I need probably. You don't have to be a part of it if you don't want to be. But I'd love for you've been.
It's not that I wouldn't want to be.
You'll have been with me through the Rockstar Lawyer, but it won't. You know, I just need some help. I need somebody to help me.
I would certainly, yeah.
Either that, or I'm gonna get somebody. I'm gonna have somebody here film the thing, okay? Because we're gonna outgrow the iPhone or something like that at that point. You know, we'll have some decent camera there. I get somebody who has one just to bring it in and do a decent production on the webinar, okay? And I'm gonna sit here and go back and forth, dude, and just energize and engage with people. And we'll have a PowerPoint. And let's put together an ebook. And I mean, it'll be taken kind of from Rockstar Lawyer, but let's boil it down to a webinar, okay? All right, boom, boom, boom. Here's what you need to get off the right foot, to get jazzed. Let's freaking take their brains, okay, and plug them into the Rockstar Lawyer or to the Lawyer Greg website, you know, and just have them start feeding off that content that we put out all the time. And I'll wrap up the content. Maybe I'll start doing a tip from the whip every morning from my car on the way into work or something. I don't know. We'll do something, okay?
Okay.
You know, something. Just all this constant content that we'll put out, and we'll plug them in the group. But in order, and on the webinar, to be honest with you, it's probably going to be a platform where I sell the seminar. So we'll have people buy in for like $49.99, okay, to attend the webinar, and then.
And the seminar, I'm assuming, will be a live seminar at a physical.
Let's do it with LeGrand. Let's just do it with LeGrand. Let's fly everybody into Charlotte Douglas International. And let's have a van waiting on them there and bus them into maybe that New Hampton Inn they built over here. Get them checked in on a Friday night. We'll start Saturday morning and go through Sunday evening. We're going to fly out Sunday evening. You know what I'm saying?
Sounds cool. Yeah, I like that.
And then after that, they're plugged in with. After that, we're going to do a 12-week coaching session, 1 call per week, okay? One like hour-long webinar or something like that per week with me, like on a Wednesday night or something, 5 to 6. Then I'll go to church, and you know, and we'll put a listserv on the website too. That'll be just this listserv that you can plug into, okay? Right. And ask questions and go back and forth. So that's what I see Lawyer Greg as, okay? That's that whole persona.
Okay.
That's where we've talked about that before, right?
Yeah.
But that's where I think the Rockstar Lawyer feeds in. That's the whole point of doing that. Is it's like intimately knowing your practice by making the manual. That's what we're doing right now. Is we're developing out the whole Rockstar Lawyer blueprint, okay? To take you from wherever you are, either within a big firm or without, you know, in a small firm, single solo practitioner, whatever. And
I think one thing that would be quite useful at the end of chapters and whatnot is to like have a series of questions to ask the.
Do we have exercises or something like that?
We've got some exercises
Whatever we're calling.
Whereby they can go to the website, the Lawyer Greg or whatever website, where you can answer questions, and then we can use the topics for the next edition of the book to improve it. If they're saying, well, I wish the book had had this, or I wish it had that.
Hey, let me ask you this: what if we had a web address for each exercise? So they go to, like, okay, so there's an interactive portion. Right. They go to, maybe they have to create an account on the Lawyer Greg website, right? A username, password. Yeah. And when they log in and click on the Rockstar Lawyer,
kind of thing.
Yeah, and they click. I mean, it's just that much free though with the book, okay?
Right.
And they log in, and they click on Rockstar Lawyer exercises, and they go and do each exercise on there and input their stuff. Okay, do it right there, and let them know. Look, that's coming straight to me. Okay,
Right.
I will respond to you. Okay, and I'll respond to everybody that does the exercises.
That kind of thing can be huge for, as I said, for the next edition.
You want to talk about building a freaking cult following right there? Dude, that's awesome.
Fabulous stuff.
How many books do you get to interact with the author and go back and forth, or say this sucks, or this is awesome, or here's my experience, or whatever else, you know what I'm saying? And I'll go back and forth with you all day. I might video answer you and shoot it to you by text message or email or whatever, or I'm going to write something out. But I'll spend, a Friday night answering everybody,
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Okay.
That
Can
would
we
be
put
really
that down in the notes, and that's what we're going to do?
Yeah.
Can you write like a section on that? But you're going to look at this too, right?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna
Yeah,
transcribe
we need to
this.
incorporate that in the intro. Tell people up front. I mean, big bold letters. This book is interactive. Okay.
Right.
So do the exercises at the end of the book, and I'll work with Nish to program a back end. Okay. Once you log in, and there's your Rockstar Lawyer exercises there. If you bought the book,
Right.
that would be freaking awesome, dude. That's what I want. Okay. I mean, do you see the power of what we could do here?
Oh, I see.
Seriously?
Yeah, I do.
And I'm not saying you got to be part of the cult, man. Where like you're doing the webinars and the seminars with me, but dude, I got to have somebody to do it. So I'm saying, okay?
I like
you can do it, or we can get an event planner in to help us put it all on. Okay.
I like the idea of it. It's interesting.
But if you were wanting to do the first webinar, so we can do it, that's fine. I mean, and I would pay you if you're going to do it.
No, I'd like to do it. I'm not sure how I would appear on camera. You are very comfortable on
You
camera.
don't have to be on camera if you don't want to be. Okay, that's what I'm saying. You don't have to be on camera if you don't want to be. What I would look at you to be is somebody who's just help me script out the webinar, the flow. Help me put together the content. You decent with graphics or not?
No.
Okay.
Exactly.
So
The scripts I've
help me script out the PowerPoints for the thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Boom, boom, boom. I mean, I can do a lot of it after the book's written.
Yeah.
Imagine taking that book and boiling it down to a 50-page ebook that mainly has PowerPoints and short explanations.
Right.
That cues me everything that's on there to wax poetic for 15 minutes on each point. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and go back and forth with the audience. That's the
Yeah,
point.
I mean, that's a seminar.
That might not be the webinar. That might be the 2-day seminar.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it could be easy.
That's the Rockstar Lawyer. And then you want to talk about another seminar? This is a whole other seminar right here. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Take that, expand that out to 3 books,
Right.
and that's a whole other seminar. That's the $1 million firm in a box. And I want that package nice. You know what I'm saying? I just want a cult of nationwide attorneys, or nationwide cult of attorneys that's kind of apt about the practice of law, and tries to do a good job of it and do it a little differently,
Yeah, I like that.
So-
That's really cool.
And it doesn't have to be attorneys, by the way, okay? I mean, I don't know. Can I ever get out of that niche? Do I ever want to? I mean, I say we explore that first, but I mean, that's the seminar. The Rockstar Lawyer book is the seminar in the webinar. And then this one right here
I mean, that's
is a whole other focus of a seminar or an entirely separate seminar. But if you drop if you drop 10 grand to come to the Rockstar Lawyer seminar, you might as well drop another 10 and come back for a $1 million law firm seminar. You know what I mean?
right.
So, and we need to give one of those every month, 2 months over at LeGrand. 20 people. That work.
That would.
It would be okay. Extra source of income.
I mean, this with regards to the Rockstar idea.
Dude, Max Gardner does it all the time.
That's-
I was talking to Nancy. Go ahead, sorry.
No, that's right. Yeah.
No, go ahead. I don't want to step on what you're saying.
what was I going to say? Oh, the idea of the Rockstar Lawyer book, that could be adapted for any industry.
Yes, sure.
And it wouldn't take that much to take that book and make it work for bankers or some kind of financial industry. Or
Yeah, dude. I mean, you could have like a whole, like, you look at
have a Rockstar librarian or anything.
the Charlotte Coliseum or whatever, you know, some big arena, Bobcats Arena. This dude just have some huge day where it's just like Rockstar Business Day or something, you know, where you have the authors of all those different books, which I'm sure you've thought about, you know. I'm not writing the accountant one, you know what I'm saying? But you know, you have all them come in. Obviously, I'm going to be like the MC, you know what I'm saying? Right? Because I'm the original Rockstar, right? And Rockstar Lawyer Gray. And then, I mean, that, you know, you pack a stadium out, okay? And have just a motivational weekend or motivational day, you know? Maybe do it on a Friday and have all these corporates come in, you know, and do training and everything else. That'd be really cool. So yeah, that's the power of it, you know what I'm saying?
Rockstar accountant.
Yeah, Rockstar Doctor, I don't know. Dude, in each book, okay, you gotta get, you know, somebody who has got something to say, you know what I mean? That's kind of kicking tail, right? But then, dude, I gotta come in and like offer a spin on it. You know what I mean? I gotta do like write the foreword on Oliver or something like that. You know? Did it really?
It's just died.
Out of battery?
Should have been outside of the 30%.
You don't have any
I didn't bring my cord.
So
Sorry.
anyway.
I'll transcribe that.
Yeah, you can transcribe that. So I was talking to Molly McKinney at the LeGrand Center about this and about another attorney seminars that he's doing, where that's essentially what he's doing, but in one specific area of law. Max Gardner III on bankruptcy, but he's been doing it for a long time. You know, that's exactly what he does. And Molly, I was like, man, but I don't think I want to do it at LeGrand because, you know, who's going to want to come down here? And it's, you know, the airport's 45 minutes away. She's like, nobody seems to care there. They always rave about it because it's like, you know, they get to get away, kind of a retreat, and LeGrand Center's nice, and he busts them down. So we need to do the same thing.
Yeah.
Okay?
I think that's a good idea.
Yeah.
With regards to like steps for lawyers, is there a way we could have, say, for new lawyers, just coming out of university, want to start up on their own? These are the 10 steps, the 5 steps, or whatever you need to take now.
Well, here's your firm.
When you're walking in the door.
Here's your firm.
Right.
Like 10 steps for new attorneys.
Yeah. Just have a chapter separate for that, or that could be in the appendix possibly.
I don't know, man. That'd be a cool little word all by itself, you know? That should be like some kind of infographic that's up on the Lawyer Greg site, too.
That's a good idea.
10 steps for new attorneys. I don't know. You have to think about that. Number one, don't lose yourself. Don't be afraid to be yourself. Number two, find a mentor.
Right.
Actually, that's number one. Okay, find a mentor. Okay, find somebody that you can relate to that's done it before that's successful. Period. If somebody scares you and you're afraid to talk to them, that should probably be your mentor.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, so find your mentor. And number two, don't lose yourself. Be yourself. Don't be scared to be different. You know, and be the type of attorney or type of business person that you want to be.
Right.
Number three, get in with a group. There's safety in numbers. Okay, So not necessarily get in with another firm, okay? Although it's not a bad idea to learn the ropes, okay? Some would say learn bad habits, but I think you get in with.
Yeah, but you won't know the bad habits until you learn them.
So I mean, I think like a group of nationwide attorneys that does, I don't know, criminal law, elder law, anything else, whatever it is, find a really reputable group and become a part of it.
Right.
Because they can give you systems and processes automatically. Get a good practice management system. Which is, like Clio or Turtle Attorneys or something like that. That's a cloud, some kind of practice management system for your firm. Okay, it'll get you organized, and it's a great system to use. Okay,
right.
So it's part of systems. Okay, it's part of getting systematized, organized. Start creating a manual from day one. Okay, that's your firm DNA. Start creating your manual so you know what you do and how to replicate it, and what your processes and procedures are. Dude, I'm gonna pull from Bob. Throw away your legal pads.
Yeah.
Dude, I mean, we live in a day and age where you can keep track of all information. Stop using legal pads. Put everything in the system, in the practice management system under that client's file, in the computer. Track everything. Okay.
Yeah, I feel I'm guilty of that.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, I am too, dude. If you look over my trunk right now, I think I have like so many legal pads with stuff written on them that are in there.
Yeah.
Sometimes, though, writing it down for me makes it come true. I don't know what it is, but it's the physical act of that.
Yeah, I agree. I like writing stuff.
So that, I mean, I'm going against what I just said there, but I gotta stop that. I mean, maybe I'll write some things down too, my personal goals or something like that, or whatever I'm doing. But
writing down on paper.
in your firm, write them, type them up, man, type them up. Track your time. Always track your time. So your client can see what you're doing. You know what you're doing with your time. Understand that it's however hard you think it's going to be to get to where you want to be, it's going to be harder. So don't underestimate the amount of work and effort it's going to take to get to where you want to be.
That brings up another question, actually, that I had about your experience when you came back from Wilmington to here, and you were working with another attorney. What sort of hours were you putting in? I mean, that just little details like that can make all the difference on a personal story in a book. Instead of it just being a generic personal story, it just adds something.
I've always put in a lot of hours, okay?
Yeah, I've figured that.
I mean, I've always put in a lot of, so I was putting in a lot of hours, all right? I mean, probably, it just depends on the week, man. I mean, lots of hours. But it wasn't, to me, it wasn't as fulfilling as doing it for myself, okay?
Right.
Plus, I felt like it was in somebody else's system, and like, you know what I'm saying? It just wasn't, my whole heart wasn't in it.
Yeah.
But I was wrong there. I've learned that I was wrong. I should have been more committed of it. Okay, I'm just telling you, okay? And I think within any system you can be successful, okay? But you got to go out at full force with everything you are. And I don't think I was fully committed at that point in time. I was working a lot of hours. I just wasn't fully committed to the firm and what I was doing, okay? Once I fully committed, the world opened up. Everything didn't become easy, but, the consistently putting together days where I'm all in, where I'm like excited like I was on that New York, show. Right?
Yeah.
So.
And you also stated when you started your own firm here.
Yes.
That's when you made every mistake possible, basically. You said that's when I started to make all the mistakes.
I think all along I made mistakes. I look at it all along. I mean, I think we all make mistakes the whole way.
Because I wouldn't mind
You just
putting
learn
something in.
Yeah.
These are the mistakes you don't want to make, kind of part of one of the chapters, or have that at the back.
make these mistakes. How about that?
Make
You
these
need to learn.
mistakes or don't
You need
make
to-
them or whatever.
Yeah. You need to learn. Yeah, learn. Yeah, I mean,
And put them down on paper,
Yeah,
right?
I mean,
And
what-
shoot them off to me on an email.
I've tried about everything you can think of as far as being an attorney. Okay, from television commercials to billboards to everything else, and then came back to the point where it's like, man, it's just not even about how much money I'm spending or where my advertising is. That's a half truth. I'll tell you why. Because it's about how much passion you have about what you're doing,
Oh yeah, I agree.
and that shows through.
Yeah.
So me doing a video like this or writing a book or whatever else is 10 times more effective than having a billboard on a major highway or something like that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, and I just think the world's such now that you want to talk about writing a book that sends them to a website where you interact with the reader continuously as they're reading the book, and you're interacting with the author, okay?
Yeah.
Personalizing. He's sending you video messages about the chapter you just read and your answers from that chapter. I mean, dude, the billboard just can't do that, okay?
Yeah.
And you know, and for the bang for your buck, I mean, I'm just saying, there's a totally different strategy now, and I think you just got to be all in, and no barriers, no boundaries, you know, like just break those down.
I'll be at a page going.
I mean, I'm telling you, that's the big thing is lawyers really think that they're above all that. You know, I think a lot of them do. This, you know, I'm above that interaction or that type of openness, and you're not. I think really, if you can be that open, then I cannot wait till we start that level of interaction with the people reading the book.
Right.
I'm so excited about that. Okay. Because I can just see it, just all these emails flowing in. Like by the third week, I'm like, oh my god, you know what I'm saying? I have to hire an assistant just to help me like keep up. But please give me that problem, you know?
Yeah.
How cool would that be?
Yeah.
I want to go to Manhattan, bro. Here's the goal, okay? I want to go to Manhattan and I want to walk down the street and somebody say, "Hey, Lawyer Greg," you know what I'm saying? I want that to happen, okay? Hey, you're Lawyer Greg. Dude, let that happen one day, just one time, and then you know what? I'll be happy.
Wow, let's make it happen.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, that interaction idea is really good.
It would be really good. And then some last crumbly morsels: save money, create banking relationships. Don't outgrow your money. We were talking about that because I was talking about, you know, you want to trust yourself. My last question, I said, my last question of today, Bob. I said, not my last question ever, but my last question of today is, you know, I've learned over the last, you know, the years to trust myself, and I want to move fast. Okay, I want to make clear decisions, not look back and move forward. He said, yes. He said, but if you grow too fast, you can end up outgrowing your staff, okay? Outpacing your staff. So you want to make sure you have the right people in the right positions and train them well and make sure they're good with the growth, okay?
Right.
Or you can lose staff that way. And you can, you don't want to outgrow your money because if you take on too many people before you have a bankroll, then you have a down month and you're screwed a little bit, okay? I mean, I guess you're laying off. I mean,
that makes sense.
but so what I took from that was, you know, I need to bankroll, okay? I need to make sure my coffers are full, you know, and create the banking relationships so you have those lines of credit there. Then you can really expand quickly once you're there. Mm-hmm. But before you actually need them, okay, go over and spend the time with the bank and, like, you know, at least once a month. Get to know the bankers. Talk to them. Talk about loaning the money and what you do. Educate them on what you do and show them the book. Show them more than they need. Give them more than they ask for. And then when you need the money, you know, you want the money for advertising, for, I don't know, maybe we have new seminars we're going to give. You know, we're going to give 6 a year, once every other month next year. I don't know. And for Rockstar Lawyer. Maybe we'll do that the second half of this year. I'd love to do that. You know what I'm saying?
Cool.
It would be really cool. And I go just to the bank and get a line of credit for it. Just lay it out so I don't have to come out of pocket anything. You know?
That can also come start the whole launch period of the book, we can start them before we actually send the book out to get the idea that this book is coming, we're going to launch on this day.
Let's start doing
We want you to
we
buy
want
it
webinars,
this day.
bro. We want webinars out there too. Yeah, I know, because we want a bunch of purchases on the same day.
We want as many purchases on
I
that
got
same
you, man.
day
I
as
got
possible.
you. I understand. So,
Then the next edition, you can put on the book, first edition, bestseller, #1 bestseller. That makes huge.
I want it to be huge. I want it to be huge. And yes, I'm very jazzed about New York City, man. Jazzed about New York City. I mean, you can tell it. I love going there. I got to get my plane tickets. I need to go ahead and do that tonight. I need to buy my plane tickets. I'm taking Tucker up there, okay?
Oh, cool.
The last weekend of this month.
How old's Tucker?
11.
I know Nancy said the personalities of your kids, is it Tucker who's more like you?
I think so, yeah. So, yeah, I mean, that's the power of mindset, though, right? I mean, you just get that extra injection of mindset.
Oh, yeah.
And unlimited growth, you know, when you get around, just something that jazzes you up, you know, it might not be New York City, but it might be something else, you know. I don't know. You know, I'm ready to go back. I'm ready to keep it rolling. So many possibilities, it's ridiculous. But I need help. Right? You help me a lot. Nancy helps me a lot. To accomplish what we want to accomplish is awesome. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
We just need to get it done.
Yeah.
Like I see these streams of things going. I just need the book. I think we get the book out. We need to get the Rockstar Lawyer book out. Hey, dude, I need to finish editing it out, Saving the Farm. I've got a book right now that's sitting.
Now, how many edits have been done? Do you know?
I've got a friend of mine who I need to call today. I sent out 5 to send back to me, like in packs of a pack of red pens, a cover letter, and the printed, you know, book, and it's loose leaf and a binder clip in a big metal envelope, and ask them to mark it up, send it back. I haven't got any back yet. It's like over a month ago I sent them out. So I need to call everybody and bring them back in.
So do you know if the writer, the person who helped write it, did they edit at all? Or did they just give you a first draft?
Yeah, yes, it's somewhat edited, okay?
Okay.
And I mean, I wrote a lot of it, okay? Just me. Okay?
Oh, so you know a lot about you weren't just giving your information to this person.
No.
Okay.
No, and I wrote a lot of it custom, so.
That makes all the difference when you come to editing. You know that information backwards.
That's correct. So I know it pretty well. I just need to sit down with it and go through it. Just take the time to do it. Anyway, man, thanks for coming.